Sir,
Starting.
actually, I have not assigned a role.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 566 of Blue Quest. We are club number 01407710 Toastmasters International, and we meet every morning 7:45 a.m. India time. Thanks to our guests who are joining us from all over the world and some members who are joining us from across the seven seas. The meeting is now in progress. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You're now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting, and as such, a few rules apply to you. Please be aware of these rules as I call them out. For start, please ensure that your microphones are muted and your videos are turned on as much as practical as it says in the speech contest rule book. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. I will give you 10 seconds so that you can do that. Thank you. Please speak responsibly on topics around religion, sex, and politics. I know that we are an international club, but people here in India tend to get sensitive around those topics. As far as possible, please keep your videos on, your audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Toastmaster of the day, table topic master, and the general evaluator, please ensure a smart audio video check before you hand over to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player hyphen your name hyphen your club. You may omit the name if you're a member of Blue Quest. As you can see, I've renamed myself as Tmod hyphen Rupinder Singh. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will either use background change or screen sharing to indicate time using one of three cards. Green means that you've reached the minimum qualifying limit. Yellow indicates it's a good time to start concluding, and red specifies that you have 30 seconds or more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due course. Some Zoom behaviors, we encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons, very conveniently located at the bottom of your screens to indicate how you feel about this meeting. For example, if you want me to go faster, you can press this button and I'll get the hint that you want me to speed up. I'm giving myself that hint. As far reiterating, please keep your audio. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting and focus on the speaker. If you're going to chat, do it between breaks. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would like to introduce the presiding officer, who I'm relieved is back in his role as a presiding officer after God knows how many meetings. Please welcome our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Sumit Juneja, who has an important announcement about contests for the next week.
Thank you, Rupinder. Thank you so much for stating the rules of the meeting. I welcome all the guests and members here. We have Deepak Arora today, who is coming to the Blue Quest for the first time. We have Diana McEnroy with us, and she is playing the role. We have Raj Mehta, who is our guest, and we have many guests today. In fact, Puranjay is our guest, and we have Sal Sharp as our guest, and I think I'm done mostly. Is it anybody left? We have Kathy with us today, so a lot of guests today. It's a great meeting, gonna be a great meeting with a lot of happiness when Rupinder is around. And coming up next is Rupinder giving us our daily dose of happiness. And our daily dose would consist of some of the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Welcoming Rupinder. Join me in welcoming Rupinder. Over to you, Rupinder. I think we have lost Rupinder, and some of the doors would delay a bit, but let's. Rupinder, are you there?
It appears he is frozen.
I was gonna say, is this his form of happiness? Is frozen?
That's a wonderful photo. It froze on a beautiful frame of him.
It did.
Yes. Over to you, Rupinder.
I think I'm frozen again. Am I even audible or visible or
You're
You are
back.
now.
legible? Okay. It says my internet connection is unstable. I apologize for that. And sorry for my audio video issues. I just hope it doesn't happen in a contest, and hopefully everything goes well today. Fingers, toes, legs, arms, everything crossed. And before I begin, I wanted to share a video with you. So let's turn our attention to my screen, which I'll be sharing with you momentarily. All right, here we go. Optimize for video clip. Please confirm if you're able to look at my screen.
Yes.
Cool. Here goes. Just watch. It's a 3-minute video, but it's worth it.
Chubby cheek, dimple chin, rosy lips, teeth ring, eyes are curly hair, very fair, eyes are blue, lovely too.
Chubby cheeks,
Chubby cheeks,
dimpled chin,
dimple chin,
rosy lips,
rosy lips,
teeth within,
teeth within,
curly hair, very fair,
very fair,
eyes are blue,
eyes are blue,
lovely too.
lovely too. Chubby cheeks, dimple chin, rosy lips, teeth within, curly hair, very fair, eyes are blue, lovely too. Chubby cheeks, dimple chin, rosy lips, teeth within, curly hair, very fair, eyes are blue, lovely too. Chubby cheeks, dimple chin, rosy lips, teeth within, curly hair, very fair, eyes are blue, lovely too. Chubby cheeks, dimple chin, rosy lips, teeth within, curly hair, very fair, eyes are blue, lovely too.
Is that you?
No.
Okay. How many of you actually watched that video? I mean, you did not switch off or anything. Okay. How many of you felt like a winner just after watching that video? How many of you could relate to the struggle of a sports person? How many of you could relate to that feeling, that winning feeling at having won something, at having achieved something? Congratulations. I just released dopamine into your system. The dopamine is the winner's syndrome, is the winner's hormone. It courses through your vein every time you accomplish something, every time you win an award, every time you get good grades. Now, why is dopamine important? Well, not only dopamine. Today, I'm going to talk about a dose of happiness. I'm going to talk about 3 other hormones, which, when combined in your speeches and your performances, is going to leave your audience eating out of your hand, in love with you. Everybody wants that, doesn't it? Everyone wants to come on stage and wants to leave with an impact that they will be remembered for a lifetime. Well, today is the dose to be remembered for a lifetime, a dose of happiness. Before I move further, I'd like to tell you how our meeting goes. We have 3 sections in our meeting. The first section is called the prepared speeches, and magically, we do have a prepared speaker today. The second section is called table topics, and our table topic master today is distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. In table topics, you will be given a topic and you'll be asked to speak on it for about 1 to 2 minutes. And last, but by no means the least, is the most important part of Toastmasters meeting, which I call the evaluation section. Now, let's say that hypothetically my life was on the line, and it required someone to play the role of a general evaluator to save my life. Who would I have playing that role? Undoubtedly, the person that I'm going to call on stage, and that is Toastmaster Anna Whistler. Whether she'll play that role or not is a different thing. But if there is one person who could save my life while playing the role of a general evaluator, it is Anna Whistler. Let's have a huge round of applause for her.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupinder. I do believe I deserve a cape, if that's to be the case, that I can play general evaluator and save a life. I do require a cape on that. But it is my job to hopefully help induce some of the dopamine that is already in play as I evaluate and keep in track of everything that is going on in our agenda this evening. But I'm not doing it alone, because no real superhero or no real conqueror can handle everything by herself. So I do have a team. I have evaluators in play, but I also have a tag team that I will have them introduce themselves as well. To start off, I do have a timer who is Deanna. She will be doing our lights for us and recording the time and reporting it to me. Our speeches will be 5 to 7 minutes. So the green light will come on at 5 minutes, the red light at 6 minutes, and the red light at 7 minutes, and will stay on until the final speech. Finally, our evaluations will be 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So green light at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and red light at 3 minutes. And then our table topic speakers are 1 to 2 minutes. So green light at 1 minute, yellow light at 1:30, and red light at 2 minutes. Definitely the goal is to make sure you get into that yellow. Let's see what we can do for table topics today. As our counter, we have Toastmaster Kathy. Toastmaster Kathy, will you tell us what you will be listening for in those ums?
Yes, Toastmaster Anna. The counter. The purpose of the counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds, such as a crutch, by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections, such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be or. And please watch those double clutches. You know, I like, you like. Madam GE.
Thank you so much. I look forward to your report at the end of this meeting. And finally, the other part of my tag team is our grammarian. And here to not only tell us her role, but introduce the word of the day is none other than Toastmaster Hope Williams. Hope, what you got for us?
Well, Anna Whistler, I got something good. As grammarian of this morning's meeting, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers. I will be listening carefully to your language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day, which is aggrandize. To aggrandize means to widen in scope, to make great, or to make something appear even greater. So as I sit here, I look and I will listen to you aggrandize your words. And at the end of the meeting, I will prepare a proper report to tickle your ears with a beautiful playback of everything I hear. Therefore, I wish you all an aggrandizing time. I just modified the word to my liking, and I will throw it back to the general evaluator, Anna Whistler.
Awesome. Thank you so much, grammarian Hope. I am intrigued by this word. I will not even lie that I'm sitting here trying to make sure that I pronounce it correctly. But that's all of what aggrandize really is widening our knowledge and our scope. And with that, that is my tag team. I've already made a few notes, but I'm not going to disclose any information quite yet. So back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, DTM Nupinder.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anna, and for introducing the role players for us. And to the grammarian, I must say that I am aggrandized by our new word of the day. I would request everyone to please acknowledge the usage of the word of the day with a thumbs up. And now we head into the prepared speeches section. But before we do that, I have yet another video to share with you. Now, this video is not in the English language. Hopefully there are subtitles, but at the end of it, this video will make sense to you. This video is about the festival of Ramadan that is observed by our Muslim population. And it is the equivalent of Christmas for them, if I am not wrong, or Diwali in the case of the Hindu festivals. So I'm going to play this video for you once again, and it's 3 minutes, 20 seconds long. Just bear with me, but I'm telling you, this is just as good as good as the previous one, if not better. So here's, can you see my screen? Please, you'll have to.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Here goes.
कतराने की जोड़ के सीने मत भर जो हर रजा को पूरा कर दे वो हर नकदे से ऊपर जाने की जो हर रजा को पूरा कर दे بابا رحيم تأخذنا إلى منزلنا كل يوم يا عم رحيم سأخذك هذا إلى منزلك في رمضان कतरा कतराने की जोड़ के हसीने मत पर जो हर रजा को पूरा कर दे वो हर नकदी से ऊपर
مهما كان الطريق صعبا فإنه ينيره للجميع.
You are on mute.
All right. How many of you had tears in your eyes after you watched that? How many of you even understood what it was? What actually happened in this video is that these kids, they're doing good deeds, they're getting paid for them. And they're saving up all that money just so that their school van driver can go home on his festive season. You see, a lot of people in the United Arab Emirates are immigrants, and for them, going back home is not an easy task. They don't always have the money, and they put it together. But how many of you felt intense love after this? How many of you felt the need to do something parallel, to do some good after this? Well, congratulations, that is oxytocin running in your veins right now. There was dopamine, now there is oxytocin. The D and the O are done. I'll come back with the S and the E. But before that, we are now going to listen to a prepared speech by our rather impromptu speaker. In fact, I found her just like 10 minutes ago before the meeting started. Her name is Sal Sharp. I've had the honor of listening to her in Central Florida Facilitators, and I can tell you that you are in for a treat. She is speaking from Dynamic Leadership Level 3, and her project is negotiate the best possible, the best outcome. Her evaluator will be Toastmaster Sumit. Sumit, do you have her project evaluation form, or do you want me to send it to you? I'll send you the project evaluation form in a bit. Until then, Sal has requested that her speech not be recorded. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pause the record. Thank you, timer. No more videos, I promise. But how many of you love to travel? Show of hands. A lot of people do. I like to travel. I don't really love to travel. I like driving. But one of the few things that I've come to like is my walk every day. So I pledged to walk 10,000 steps every day. And so far, since November 21, I've been able to hold true to that pledge. I have walked a total of 108,000 steps last week. I did 56,000. I've done 57,000 steps until today. But here's the thing. When you travel or when you go for a walk or when you're doing something that you really want to do, when you indulge in a hobby, at times your mind wanders and you start looking at life in a different perspective. And suddenly there comes a moment where you realize how fortunate you are to be doing what you are doing. Ever had that feeling? Ever had a feeling as a Toastmaster when you're giving a speech and you see people shaking their heads in agreement with you, people clapping for you, people smiling at your jokes or laughing if you're a really good storyteller? Do you feel a rush of blood at that time? Well, that, fellow Toastmasters, is serotonin at work. We call it the happiness syndrome. One of the most happy moments, one of the most aggrandizing moments that I have in Toastmasters is when I successfully complete a table topic. Those seem scary at first, but when you put them together, you end up with a feeling of happiness. And that is serotonin making you feel happy. So D and O and S are done. E remains. We'll come back to E. But for now, let's stay with T, which is table topics. And our table topic master today has a few tricks up his sleeve to get you into an aggrandizing mode when it comes to impromptu speaking, to think on your feet. He is someone who works in the Indian Institute of Technology, but not for the Indian Institute of Technology. For those of you who don't know, Indian Institute of Technology is like the MIT of United States, the leader in technology education. In fact, a lot of the engineers that you employ from India, chances are they went through IIT or Indian Institute of Technology. He runs an incubation unit, an independent incubation unit out there, and he's responsible for helping young entrepreneurs realize their dreams. Let's see what he makes you realize today as a table topics master, as I call on stage the twice, almost thrice, soon going to be thrice distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Raj, the stage is yours.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, the Toastmaster of the day. As the theme of the meeting is dose of happiness, my topic shall be around happiness and sadness, because it is said that there is no value of happiness if you do not have sadness in your life. I shall be inviting members from the audience, and I shall give a topic on which the speaker will be required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Timing for the session has already been explained by the timer. Now let's straight away dive into it. And I would first like to invite Toastmaster Sumit Juneja. Sumit, are you ready for a topic?
Yes, Raj.
Thank you. Sumit, your topic is happiness is a state of heart, not mind. Happiness is a state of heart, not mind.
What is happiness? This is the one question that most people on earth want to find answer to. Happiness, is it a state of a heart or is it a state of a mind? And we are always confused between the two. Is it I should be more aligned toward the heart, or is it I should be more aligned toward the mind? But in my view, happiness is a balancing act. Your both heart and your mind should be aligned with each other in doing certain things, which ultimately can give you happiness. For example, let's say you are in a situation and you find that my mind is saying something that I should go for a particular task. My mind is saying that I should go for a charity. But your heart is saying that maybe charity is not the right thing, or maybe the opposite. Your heart is saying that you should go for a charity, but your mind is saying, Sumit, you cannot afford it at this particular point of time. Will you be happy? A person can only be happy when all the senses are telling you exactly the same thing, and you yourself know from within your heart that what you are going to do is right. All just like happiness cannot come with only D. It requires D, O, S, and E. All the four components are needed. Then only you are happy. Let's say you don't have a dopamine. Will you be happy? Still something is missing, right? A true happiness is a state when a person is at a state of joy, and above it is a state of bliss. A state of bliss can only be achieved when your all senses are aligned. Not even your mind and heart, even all senses. So there is a combination which should come as a picture to make it a really a wonderful bouquet of flower. And then you are at peace, and then you are at happiness. Over to you, Raj, with a statement that yes, we should not choose one over another. It's balancing the both that will make you happy. Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. It was great that you could arrandize the topic not from heart and mind but to other senses as well. Going on with the next topic, I would like to invite guest Pranjay Kawatra. Pranjay, are you ready for a topic?
Am I audible? Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, you're audible. Pranjay, your topic is sadness is due to people within, not around. Sadness is due to people within, not around. Over to you.
So, as the topic said, sadness is not with people within. So, when people are around, like different people, like the people that they are not comfortable with, or the people that they are not like comfortable with, or they cannot feel safe with. So, uh, as said, sadness cannot be comfortable uh, within the people. So, the s- s- one second. Sadness is a state of mind, and sadness is a state of mind, and sadness is something that is not to be physical. Sadness is by someone's people heart. So, I think sadness comes from other people, not from the state of mind. Over to you, Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranjay. Moving on, let's have Toastmaster Khushbu as a topic speaker. Khushbu, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
If happiness is a journey, then what is destination? If happiness is a journey, then what is destination?
If happiness is a journey, then what is destination? Happiness is definitely a journey for me. Because recently I have identified that how the art of giving and giving more and more and more to people around me gives me continuous joy. I don't know what is destination because as a human being, I have never been satisfied after achieving my goal. Once I achieve one goal, I keep on craving for next goal. What's next? What's next? So if happiness is a train, this train might stop at some destination, but then it keeps on looking for what's next? What do I need to achieve more to give myself that happiness? And let me tell you a story about my journey with Trinity College London. For years, I used to think that Trinity College London is not for me. But when I get into it and I got that grade 8 certificate with passed with distinction, I realized, have I achieved it? Have I achieved my goal? And at that point of time, I realized, oh, the next step of success and happiness is ATCL, which is the teacher training certificate. And then I realized that happiness is never a destination. It is always a journey because we as human beings keep on craving for more and more and more. And this more will only end when we find contentment with our inner self. That yes, I am growing with every moment. I am growing with every phase. I am growing with every success. Because happiness for me is continuous growth and the continuous art of giving and contributing and adding value in the lives of those whom I touch every day. Over to you, Toastmaster Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khushbu. I would like to pick now our Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Are you ready for a topic?
I'm always ready for a topic.
Good. Your topic is tearful eyes can see the life better. Tearful eyes can see the life better. Over to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
I often say that tears are actually cleansers of the eyes. I say so because they help you look at the world better, even though it may appear blurry from the other side. Let me explain this by telling you a story. I was in class 5, I think. Must be class 5 or class 4. Now, those were the days when I used to be one of the better students in the class, and I was fiercely competitive. Now, there was one girl in the class, name was Nitika or Nikita, one of those. I don't even remember, growing too old. It was always between me and her. She would come first or I would come first. And every time she came first, I really felt bad. I would cry. It was my last year in that school because I would be shifting to Delhi. And for the final exam, I actually wanted to come first. So I threw a challenge. Very naive of me, but I threw a challenge. I said, it's my last exam. I want to come first. And I'm going to do everything in order to come first. And I did. I came second. And I cried. And I cried. And I cried. Sitting on the stairs of the school. I felt an arm on my shoulder. It was Nikita. And she said, you know, all through, You've been competing with me. It's made you a better person. I want you to become a better person. And so I stopped being competitive after that. And that was the clarity I got in life. Yes, I was an average student, but I was a happy average student after that. And that is why I say, tears make the vision clearer. Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Now I would like to request Toastmaster Deepak Arora. Are you ready to take a topic?
Yeah, Raj, I'm ready for that.
Thank you, Deepak. Your topic is smiling just paints and widens your lips. Smiling just paints and widens your lips.
So can you repeat it? The second word I didn't get.
Smiling
Yeah.
just paints and widens your lips.
Okay. So it's a good topic actually. Thank you for giving me the topic. The first time I'm just speaking on this Toastmaster, so thanks to giving me the chance. I'm starting the topic now. The smiling is giving you pain and widen the your lips. Is there's a lots of things actually. Smiling is not that much thing. Is smiling is not associated with you only, because when you start smiling, it gives a lots of things, messages to the people around you, which may, or most of the chances is 90-95% gives a smiles to other people's face as well, right? So it's not like having a it's widen your own lips only. It gives a lots of it's also widen the lips of other people around you as well. So the life is having a lots of situations in your life, right? So you can have a different situations, but keeping the smile on your face makes people happy around you. Today I'm able to speak that much. Actually, I'm not getting too much right for this. So this is what it is. I just want to speak as of now.
Thank you, Deepak.
Yeah.
Moving on, I would now like to request our grammarian, Toastmaster Hope. Would you like to take a topic?
Ready.
Thank
Yes,
you, Hope.
I'm ready.
Toastmaster Hope, your topic is sadness is the most important emotion to understand happiness. Sadness is the most important emotion to understand happiness. Over to you, Toastmaster Hope.
Thank you, Raj Mehta. Sadness is the most important emotion to understand happiness. To that, I would say it would mean to have both the good and the bad. You know what's bad if you haven't experienced good? Are we aware of what's good if we haven't truly felt the bad? We can label bad with anything, but the loss of a friend or a relationship often is labeled bad. You feel the pain, the sadness, and the cleansers of the soul. Shout out to Toastmaster of the Day, Rupinder, for telling me this. And with the blossoming of a new relationship, you're enlightened with a lighter feeling, a happiness, and possibly a new vision of what can be. In the middle is that journey between the two. The happiness of the beginning, the pain of the ending. And the middle is what we create. I like to think that that is the journey, not the starting, not the ending, but in the middle. Because in the middle, you are aware of what's behind you and you know what possibly could be in front of you. However, to savor that singular moment that we're in is the best space to be in. Therefore, I agree. To have sadness, you must have happiness. And to have happiness, you must have sadness. And in that meantime, I choose the presence of this current moment. Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hope. Moving on, may I request our timer, Toastmaster Elisa, for a topic. Next topic. Elisa, are you ready?
Yes, just adjusting my screen here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Elisa.
not gonna show the color. I'll just time myself.
I'll time you, Alisa, and just give me 1 second while I turn on the stopwatch. So
I've got my timer here. I'll just look at it.
that's okay.
Okay, go ahead, Raj.
Got you covered.
Elisa. Thank you, Elisa. Your topic is unhappiness is the ultimate form of self-indulgence. Unhappiness is the ultimate form of self-indulgence. Over to you, Elisa.
I would disagree. I would say that there are moments where we are completely unhappy and we're not indulging our own selfishness. Because life has ups and downs, it has triumphs, it has struggles, it has joys, it has sadnesses. Now, when we're indulging in our own selfishness is when faced with difficulties, we give in and we choose to have perhaps an attitude with it. Let's say I have a loss of a friendship, and now I go on berating all my other friends and complaining to them and finding all the reasons why I can no longer be happy in life because of this friend or this relationship which has failed, loss of a job, loss of stable income, whatever it may be. We can choose to take that situation and see it in a negative light. And we can choose to be a weight and a burden on all of those around us because of what we're going through. And that is a choice, and that is to be selfish. But when I'm faced with a challenging situation, I may truly feel unhappy. And that's the moment in time when you have to be raw and real and face your emotions and recognize that it's okay. It's okay to let your emotions show. And this is the part where we bring in our community, because when we're going through that difficult, challenging time, we need people around us. And if I close myself off and if I say, well, this is selfish of me to feel unhappy, this is wrong, I'm going to cut off my lifeline, my source of support and encouragement, which is my community. And that's the moment when you need people the most. You need to reach out, you need to reach above and beyond and show your true feelings and say, I am unhappy, but I am trying to move forward. And the quick reminder in your unhappiness is to remember that even while being unhappy, you can still be grateful. And even while you're being unhappy, you can still be positive. So it's a very tricky balance to be unhappy and to have a good attitude, but I think it is possible, and I don't think it's unselfish. I think we have to be real, and this is how we're going to get through it with our community at our side. Thank you. Over to you, Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elisa. Moving on, may I request Toastmaster Anna Vishnu to take the next topic. Anna, are you ready?
I am.
Oh, thank you. Anna, your topic is there is no formula to stay happy always. There is no formula to stay happy always.
As some of you may know, I'm single. I don't have anyone, and it is holiday season here in the United States. So I was recently asked from a gentleman on a dating site, what am I looking for? My response was the secret to happiness, quick wealth, a really nice body, and maybe a new house. Of course, that wasn't the question he was wanting the answer to, or the answer at least that he was looking for. But it is an easy equation, or easy to look at whether that's really what would make me happy. When I'm put in a place and a season where all I see is family and cheer and all these joyous plans, and what's going to make me happy? Even as I was pondering what I'm doing for this holiday season, I thought I'm in an opportunity where I can go anywhere. I could go see my sister. I could go see my brother. I could go to the ocean. I could go to the mountains. I could do anything that I wanted. But again, what would make me happy? For some people, deciding a pros and cons list might be a sort of formula that would relate to a happiness. For others, it may be just randomly picking a spot or throwing a pin onto a dartboard and choosing where to go. Some, it's to seek advice from others and equate everyone's thought process, and that's your magic formula. But when it comes down to it, there's no oxygen plus hydrogen plus any dose of happiness that's going to really give you a formula of what happiness is. The answer comes to you when you look within yourself, when you focus on what would be something that would make me happy, that would allow me to enjoy life, allow me to enjoy this holiday season or a future relationship. And sticking true to those pieces is ultimately what's going to give me this magic formula to happiness. Back to you, Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. May I now request our counter, Toastmaster Kathy Jorgensen. Kathy, are you ready for your topic?
Yes, I will need, if Sal, would you count my ahs and ums, because there probably will be a couple.
Happy to, Kathy.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Your topic is, Kathy, what is better, being happy by yourself or for yourself? What is better, being happy by yourself or for yourself? Or to your Toastmaster Kathy?
That's a difficult question, but thank you for asking the hardest one of the evening. Very much appreciated. The happiness inside or for me is what you're saying? Was that the question?
Yeah, being happy by yourself or for yourself.
That almost, in my opinion, it almost sounds the same. Happy for myself is to be, like someone else was saying, to be content with what you have, to be grateful to what you have and who you are. But that's always a journey. I don't ever think I'll get it to the destination with that one. But being happy by myself, I am perfectly content to be by myself. I don't need other people to make me happy. I enjoy and love other people when I'm around them, but I have to have that quiet time, the me time, to recharge. And for me, I'm really happy for me too, because I've done some things that I am not real proud of. I've made mistakes along the way. Hopefully I can say that I've grown from them, and being corny and all of the other things you might want to say about Toastmasters, it's because of Toastmasters that I've learned I don't have to be perfect, that I don't have to be 100% right all the time, that it's okay to fail. So I'm happy for myself that I've learned that, and I'm happy in myself that I discovered that. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kathy. Now we are left with our last participant as table topic speaker. May I request Toastmaster Sal Sharp to take the next topic. Sal, are you ready? Okay, your topic is sanity and happiness are an impossible combination. Sanity and happiness are an impossible combination. Over to you, Toastmaster sir.
Sanity and
And
happiness are an impossible combination. I guess that kind of depends on how you define happiness. For me, happiness is a place that I discovered through meditation. How many people here have meditated? With practice, you can quiet your mind and it can become almost still. And if you are fortunate enough to reach this place, there is a happiness, and it's a calm, non-judgmental happiness. And one of my goals in life is to be in this place as often as I can. And I do not find it's at all connected to sanity. I feel when I'm in this place, which I often am, because I choose to smile a lot, I can trick my body into being happy when it's not genuine. And I personally believe it's a very healthy thing to do, because believe it or not, when you put on a smile, your body doesn't know the difference. You get the same endorphins as if you are genuinely happy. And then, because the endorphins are flowing, you actually become happy. So to me, happiness is a deep thing that comes from within us. It's not the reward of having a big home or a fancy car or a lot of money. It's something that a best practice is for us to cultivate it from within. And for me, sanity does not even touch this. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
thank you, Toastmaster Sal. That was great. With this, thank you very much for being a table topic speaker in this session. Now I give it back to distinguished Toastmaster Ravinder Singh, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Raj. And before we move ahead, I would like you to cast your vote for who you thought was the best table topic speaker today. Okay, so now, while that being done, let me tell you a story that started last week. Last week, our club meeting ended, and I started taking roles for the next meeting. I was so happy. I got not one, not two, but 3 speakers. Now, as is my habit, I go after the life of people and I ask them what speech are they going to give, what project, what path, and everything. That did not happen. Nobody responded. Then I got a message from one of the prospective speakers that, hey, I have a training at that time. Can we replace a speaker? So I reached out to one of our Toastmasters and we got the speaker replaced. So 3 speakers still. About Friday or Saturday, I got a message that one of the speakers was not going to give a speech because they had a family commitment. No worries. We still have 2 speakers to go. Then I got a message that one of the speakers is feeling sick and she won't be able to give a speech. We still have 1 speaker to go. Today morning, I found out that, guess what? The 3rd speaker is also not giving a speech. And I'm playing the role of Toastmaster of the meeting and I don't know what I'm going to do. I am absolutely on edge. I'm trying to think, okay, we're going to have an extended table topic session. We're going to have a module on something. when suddenly out of nowhere, Sal Sharp comes and she's willing to give a speech. How do you think I felt once I knew that Sal Sharp was going to give a speech? That we were going to have a prepared speeches section after all. Answers. How do you think I felt?
Jubilant, happy,
On cloud nine.
relieved.
The relieved is the word that I'm looking for. Relieved, reassured. That is your E. Endorphins at work. That's the relaxation hormone. That's the reassurance hormone. That's the relief hormone. E is for endorphins. So we've done dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin, a dose of happiness. So E, endorphins, E, evaluations. But the person who's going to conduct the evaluation section is actually someone whose name starts with an A, and I've already introduced her before. And she's raring to go. So I'll hand the stage to someone more tolerable than the one you see on screen. Welcome back, Anna Whistler.
I'm trying to think of some smart response to more tolerable, but I can't think of anything. So you've got me there. All right, everyone, it is the evaluation time. I am excited to be able to bring on the evaluator and then give some evaluations myself and hear from my tag team. Starting us off, I would like to call our evaluator for our speaker. Sumit, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. People keep giving me orchids. What a wonderful start it was. A picture states 1,000 words. With the 3 different pictures, you got the audience attention on your side. And you keep that attention with your side by asking the question from the audience, why do people keep giving me orchids? That's another bouncer for us. And we have, and you also describe emotionally the effect of those orchids, the juicy and the little effect that you feel, and that was an emotional treat for the audience. So well start. And over the period, you build the authenticity with showcasing the numbers that you really know a great deal about orchids. 22,000 types of orchid in the world, and so many more statistics that gives the authenticity that yes, the speaker is really an authority on the topic that he or she is talking about. And in leadership, authenticity and knowing about your subject is one of the key traits, right? And the project is about the leadership and about the negotiation and knowing that how can probably and you have been able to link the orchids and your experiences with the different types of negotiation possibilities, which could be cooperation, how to compete, compromise, accommodate, and avoid certain things. Certain examples that keep coming as you progress. And also in terms of, I would say, towards the ending, you had a message for the audience, and that was, what will you do if you are into a win-lose outcome? And that gave that made the audience think a little bit in terms of as if the situation is happening with them. Compromise, not negotiating sometime, right? That's also a good strategy. So that's overall, I'll say, the very nice beginning and a very nice ending. What I would say is that in terms of relying on the virtual background while doing a contest, some of the countries and some of the contest might not allow using the virtual background to present your speech, so it might not be in your favor in that sense. And apart from that, I would say, while you are trying to marry the negotiation skills with the topic at hand, a clear-cut demarcation for the audience to understand at what time you are using which types of negotiation strategy, be it a cooperation, compete, compromise, accommodate, or avoid, was little bit blurred. The story was great, but if I want to make a parallel between the two, it might be a little bit difficult to understand about the strategies. So that's the 2 cents from my side, and I would say that with the kind of connection that you have with orchids, you would certainly be able to convince everybody that what is the right way of negotiating, and that's the strongest part that came out, that you have that knowledge. I would like to hear more from your side, and that's great listening to you today morning. Salsha, over to you, Anna.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumeet. I would definitely agree with him. It was a very well done speech. An idea for you, Sal, is to perhaps provide an actual orchid. So at the very end, you can say that you have another one and you're ready to give it away. Maybe having a real prop instead of a picture may help with that, but I don't know if you can find an orchid where you're at. Just an idea. All right, let's go to our table topic evaluations. I have carefully listened to everyone and written down notes for every single speaker, so please be ready for this. All right, to start us off, Sumeet, you do really well at doing a very political answer, an answer that is kind of generic. And I believe that that is a great way to be able to give a table topic, but throwing in some personal antidote or some personal piece is going to just give you a little bit more push or sway as to how you see things. Sometimes it's easy just to stick with that overwhelming happy answer, but I would encourage you just to dig in a little bit more deep. But you came back to the question, and I love that you did this full circle. To me, that really gives a solid answer. Pranjay, you did great. You had a great question. You jumped right in, and I appreciate that. My suggestion for you is perhaps talk about something that makes you sad, because that's kind of what the question was. And it's okay to interpret it in your own sense. The common mistake that we get when we do table topics is that we want to understand or answer the question that we think that the table topic master wants us to answer it. So in that situation, I would have just thrown something in that makes you sad. But you came back and answered the question. You used the question as part of the answer, which is a great piece as well. So don't let that throw you off. You did great. Khushbu, I absolutely loved your answer. This, I think, is one of the first times I've really heard you give a story to your answer. And I just used a filler word. Mark that one down, Kathy. The only thing I would say is that you may want to slow down a little bit on your speaking. You talk fast, and it kind of left us wanting more. We thought, okay, there's more story, there's more pieces. So giving some pauses, but I think that overall that was a really good answer, and I loved your story. I think it's a speech waiting to happen. Rupinder, we talked about tears, and you had just literally talked about bringing us to tears with the story. So I would have kind of hoped to see you tie that back into your topic. But I love the fact that you can just drum up these stories at a drop of a hat. To me, that's just a fantastic piece. That's something I've always really admired about you. And in your own way, you brought us to tears again because it talked about your learning experience. So I appreciate that. Deepak, you had a great focus on the answer, and it was talking about your smile. The one thing I could say is that when the focus is on your smile, it's okay to smile. It's okay to bring that as an example. And you can change the question to be whatever you want it to be about it. So that's another focus piece that you can just kind of mix and match however you want. Hope, you have one of the best philosophical capabilities to take any question and create it into a philosophical question. And I love it because it now just makes me think, and it has all of these questions written down and ideas that I want to think about and ideas for topics all within the answer that you have. And I love how you do that. And I don't know how you do it. It's great. The only piece I want to encourage you on is to pull a little bit more from yourself. So you do really well at doing this great concept and really charging us to think and evaluate ourselves. But being able to know a little bit more about you and creating that vulnerability towards you gives us a little bit more on the table topic as well. Otherwise, again, I always love hearing you speak. Alyssa, great real world examples. You gave us a variety of options, came from all the spectrums of it. You gave us a motivational piece. People were sending hearts and you could see people clapping and smiling through your entire piece. It was wonderful. But I'm going to charge you with the same piece is you do really well at giving us this feeling of I can do this, I can conquer the world, but giving that real world example, putting yourself on that line gives us a little bit more meaning to it as well. And it's hard doing a table topic. So that will be my challenge is how you can pull a quick tidbit in and how you can really focus that. Mine, phenomenal, amazing. I mean, there's nothing to say. I'm just, wonderful. Kathy, it is okay to give your own interpretation of the question. Absolutely a great encouragement. And you rocked it because you kind of came in and said, there's not a difference. And you came in with a bang on it. Now, the one piece I would encourage you is you had kind of a slow start. So it's kind of like you were thinking and you kind of wanted to get something going and then bam, it hit. And it was an amazing concept and I loved it. I wanted you to keep going with it on how you were okay being alone, how you were okay being around people, but you still needed to be that pleasant self. It was great. So the only encouragement I have is really to maybe pause for a few seconds just before you start speaking and then just come in with the start bang instead of slowly easing yourself in. I understand it's table topics, but that's my greatest challenge for you. And finally, Sal, great thoughtful answer. You gave it a really good deep meaning and you combined multiple pieces into it. The comment I would make is that as we are listening to table topics and we know you just gave a speech and all of us were there, it's okay to reference your speech back. And I felt like you almost were ready to, and you didn't. And it's okay to do that, I think, in a table topic, not in a competition manner, but in our situation, you could have done that and really kind of nailed it home. But I thought it was a very solid speech piece. And then finally, I just want to give commendations for Raj. It was beautiful topics. I really appreciate the fact that you stated the topic and then stated it slower again, because sometimes we get caught up with trying to listen or think, and stating it again really did help. And I appreciate that. I want to also commend you because at one point it looked like you were multitasking, listening to us and it was fantastic. I was like, you're on top of this and you know what you're doing. And I thought you were just this magician. That or you were talking to yourself. I have no idea, but it worked really well. And I really want to commend you for that. And I appreciate the topics that you gave us, that it was applicable to the theme. That's it for me and table topics. I am going to turn it to our fill-in timer. Thank you, Alyssa, for jumping in there. Can you give us a brief overview of all of the times for speakers, table topics, and evaluation, please?
Absolutely. And it's been a pleasure to fill in. I know that we had our timekeeper who was with us for a little bit, but she seems to have dropped out. So I am going to share the timings in the chat. Now, part of keeping time is learning when to maximize and when to minimize our time. And we have to make sure that with whatever time we're given, we make the most of it. But sometimes we have to minimize. And after a 40-hour week of standing up nonstop, I'm going to minimize today and give you a simple rundown in the chat. And as you can see, we've got Sal at 6:35 for table topics, Sumit 227, Puranjai 120, Khushbu 205, Rupinder 226, Deepak 125, Hope 158, Elisa 222, Anna 148, Kathy 212, Sal 154, and then for evaluation, Sumit 3:30 right on the dot. Sometimes we have time when we go big, sometimes we must maximize and minimize our time to make it all fit, and we represent what we are able to. Today you have it all in the chat, but at least we have gone through this meeting. It's great to be here. And with that, I hand it back over to our general evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I am going to throw it over to our grammarian. Hope, I always look forward to your reports on this. So please fill us in with your report on our words this week.
I sure will. I'm happy to. And I enjoyed listening to everyone's manner of speaking. I allowed myself to aggrandize all the words that were heard this evening. Therefore, because I like to always do better than my last attempt, I have provided a wonderful presentation on all things I heard. Now, I was not able to offer helpful hints of grammar usage to be used in future speaking times. However, I did note everything that tickled my ear. Therefore, I will share that with you at this time. Starting with our first speaker. Sal Sharp, thank you. I also have found difficulty maintaining a healthy life for my plants. They often become compost into my compost pile in my front garden, although I try my best. I really enjoyed hearing fickle flora. That was a creative use of words, and I have noted everything that I heard, 22,000 types of orchids in the world. Noting that amount and that grandiose number just really allowed that exact figure to stick into my head so I can use in future conversations to impress others. We will go on to table topics, starting with Sumit. Very, very calming words from Sumit. I really enjoyed aligned with the heart or aligned with the mind. Happiness is a balancing act. A person can only be happy when all the senses are telling you the same thing. A state of bliss can only be achieved when all of your senses are aligned, and a lovely bouquet of flowers. It was like reading a meditation book. Therefore, Om, Namaste, and thank you. I will continue on to our next table topic speaker. I recorded sadness cannot be comfortable, and sadness is a state of mind, not always physical. I noted these two phrases and I put them in my own personal book just to incorporate in future speeches. They were very noteworthy and I appreciate you saying them. The next speaker was Khushbu. The art of giving and giving more and more and more is joy. I loved hearing that. My heart became full and I could feel the oxytocin surging through my body. There you go, Toastmaster of the day. Happiness is a train and finding contentment within our inner self. Rupi, I found a few things. It's very difficult for me to always note the beautiful phrases that you utter. However, tears are cleansers to the soul. And that woman who was giving you a little pity told you, I want you to become a better person. You were a happy average student, which is always better than just an average student. And tears make the vision clearer. Thank you, Rupi, for sharing. Deepak, keeping the smile on your face. I even went and found a smile to put on the slide. Therefore, there's even more oxytocin surging through my body. Thank you very much. Elisa, usually I'm overflowing with joy to hear you speak, and this was a moment where I still was overflowing with joy. When we are indulging in our own selfishness, we can choose to be a weight or a burden. Raw and real, let your emotions show, and you don't want to cut off your lifeline, your source, which is your community. I appreciate the phrase of your community because I feel that that is a strong foundation and a basis that surrounds us all. Thank you for sharing. Anna Whistler, I even found the matching icons. The secret to happiness, maybe a new house. That's a great thing to tell someone on a dating app. What would make me happy is maybe a new house, and equate everyone's thought process, which that would be very impressive if I was looking to date you, although I am not. And last would be Kathy, me time to recharge. I don't to be perfect. That is a misspelling on my part. Therefore, as the grammarian, I'm going to check myself as the grammarian. Thank you for sharing. It is okay to fail, and I am happy in myself. I say the same thing to myself every morning. I am happy in my body, and I am happy, fulfilled, and aggrandized with emotion and oxytocin and dopamine for this thorough grammarian report. I will now sadly turn control of the meeting back to Anna Whistler.
Thank you so much, Hope. I appreciate that. That is wonderful. I always look forward to your reports. And slight heartbreak. I mean, you're in Hawaii and I'm in Texas, but long distance, right? It's a new thing. All right, moving on in our showmance tonight. I have given you all the time of the world, Miss Toastmaster Kathy. Please tell us, how many times have we used filler words today?
Well, actually, as a whole, excellent job. Anna, you gave me such a good report. I appreciate it, but I have to give you one That's good. And I'm just gonna go across the way I had my names written down. Rupi. Okay, you're an incredible Toastmaster, and you always come up with these little clips and these proverbs, but there are some lip smacks that you do. I counted 3. Ahs and the ums, I stopped counting, but anyway, great Toastmaster though. Hope, you're amazing. You had 2 ahs. Yay. Sal, always excellent. Nothing. Let me go to Paranje. Did I say your name right? Paranje. And is your favorite word. Do you want to know how many?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there were 14. Oh, there's an I just did 2. There were 13. And you had a couple of ahs. That was no. I need to flip those 13 ahs and 2 ums. And Deepak, do you want to know what you did, or do you want me to be gentle? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, Kathy, I want to know that.
Okay, you said it. Okay, and there were 10 ahs, and you have a lot of double clutch, and you're going, etc. So really, you did pretty good. And I was told this is probably one of your first times. I'm still trying to, well, congratulations. I am still trying to cut back on my uhs and ahs, just the way that you all heard it. And one more, Alyssa. 1 you guys are perfect. And Sumit, 6 ahs and 1 ah. You all, thank you very much for this opportunity to help me. And I return the lectern over to our Anna Whistler, Toastmaster Anna Whistler. My apologies, our. There you go.
So much. That was very well done and extremely cordial as well. So I appreciate that. All right, now it comes down to the evaluation of the meeting. Sunday night, I was asked to partake in a new member orientation. And I was asked to talk about Toastmaster of the Day role. What does it involve? What does it take? How to be successful? And one of the first things I said is that you get to rule the roost. You can do whatever you want to do. You could do the meeting backwards, upside down, forwards, in reverse, fast forwarded, rewind. You can do whatever you want because you're in charge of the meeting. The second piece is that you have to be on your toes and willing to fill in roles where it's needed. People have emergencies, family things that come up, and a variety of reasons. Our Toastmaster of the Day today proved both of those were actually accurate. So at least I'm not giving false information at new hire orientation. But I say this in encouragement because I felt as though no matter what happened in our speakers, we still had an amazing meeting. It was filled with quality and content that all of us enjoyed. I believe that we were able to indulge in happiness and experience a different level, and the entire meeting was happy. I'm filled with joy and I'm headed to bed. Not because I'm going to bed, but just filled with joy. I want to commend everyone who was part of tonight's meeting. Of course, my suggestion, Toastmaster of the Day, is your theme is happiness. So were you truly happy to be Toastmaster of the Day today? Good, because that's what I want to hear. We had an amazing meeting. It was a blast to hear from people, having members who've not been here before or really participated. It's a great piece. And I'm happy to be a part of this club. No matter how many speakers back out on the last moment, we always have a great meeting. The one suggestion I would give you, Mr. Toastmaster, is if there are speeches that back out, just throw in more video clips. Those are totally fine. I knew a club that had speakers back out, but they just threw in speeches from previous contests. So we still heard a speech, still allowed there to be evaluations. We just had to mix it up. And that's just the role of a Toastmaster. Otherwise, I appreciate everyone's attendance today. I look forward to seeing what next week, and I will return the lectern back to you, Toastmaster Ruby.
You sure you don't want to talk about the timer accounted? Okay, cool.
You want me to do what?
The rest of the role players, you did not cover them. You just covered me.
No, because we all did great.
Okay, cool. I wasn't listening. I was just carried away when you said that I looked happy. So let me first spotlight myself. All right. Now, we spoke about four months. Before that, may I ask Khushbu to turn on her video and Kathy to come on video because this is a historic moment.
I cannot come on video. My apologies.
That's okay, but just do not turn off your videos because I think this is for the first time in the history of Blue Quest Toastmasters that everyone has their videos on. Can we just have a heart or your favorite emoji so that I can take a screenshot of this on my count? 3, 2, 1, heart. Oh, I knew somebody had to let me down, but never expected it to be Raj. But I've got a screen full of hearts. Thank you very much. All right. Now, we learned about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. How do we bring this into play? How do we bring this to our speeches. Here is the thing. I have found that successful speeches, successful evaluations, successful presentations are those that will cause the release of more than one of these hormones. So if your speech is all about winning, it will be an effective speech. But what if you could mix it with a little bit of love? So now dopamine and oxytocin are working their magic. How about adding a feeling of happiness to it, so that now serotonin comes into play? And how about telling them at the end of the meeting that, look, everything is going to be all right. And there, endorphins are at work. Hope that this was, Hope, I do love you, but I wasn't taking your name. Hope that this was a winning feeling, a loving feeling, a happy feeling, and a reassuring meeting for you all. I sign off as Toastmaster of the day, overwhelmed with a dose of happiness. It was an absolute honor to be your Toastmaster of the meeting. And I give the stage now to our presiding officer, Sumit Janeja.
Thank you, Rupinder, for indeed a wonderful session today. And I believe it's going to be a wonderful day for us. And those who are going to sleep will sleep peacefully. So we have everybody did good job today. I'm confused. Very good. We have our guests here. I'd like to take feedback from them. Starting with Deepak, who connected me last week and wanted to join. Maybe. So Deepak, we want to hear from you. What do you feel about the meeting, and any suggestions for improvement for us?
Hi, Sumit. Thanks. Actually, it was amazing. I have attended one of the sessions earlier online of the Toastmaster. That was an amazing story actually, but I don't want to get into that actually. But I have joined one of the Toastmaster meeting earlier as well. But this is a totally different experience I get in this particular training. Is the first thing about the meeting is the topic was great, and the table topics were like amazing. It was too good that Raj has taken those topics. I like that the way he has put the things on the things. And the good about the meeting is lots of because in India I was not expecting lots of people from different countries as well, which is giving a more opportunity to learn more in terms of getting in knowledge about, because I'm focusing on towards actually to be, I was not aware that is, I think this is a blessing to me getting into this particular Toastmaster meeting is because I am focusing, because my business, which I have started is in USA based actually, because I got a clients over there, which is, I'm a Salesforce developer. We started a business in salesforce.com actually. So I have some customers over there. So I'm facing some challenges in terms of native accents. And from USA, because the USA is having a different accents all over the different states actually. So I'm facing some challenges. It's not much, but yeah, lots of, but little bit challenge I'm facing. So I want to just, it is going to be great help for me to getting in this particular a Toastmaster and getting lots of feedback, which is going to help me to understand the native accents maybe, right? So, but overall experiences, having the first meeting, I'm sorry about that. I was not able to speak too much today, but yeah, I will try to do that in future as well, right? So, but overall experience was great from a feedback point of view for the topics, the way the people are talking here, and it's like a different family in terms of learning something new. That is what it is for today.
You did wonderfully today, and you are always welcome to join anytime you want to join.
Yeah, thank you.
We have Kathy with us. Would like to hear from you.
I thought it was great. I have never been able to. I've been in. Rupi invited all of us a couple of times. This was the first time I actually was able to make it, and I thank you. It was wonderful meeting you all. I was so impressed with Hope and her slides and how automatically she was able to do that. And I wish I could be, right there to see how she did that. That was so amazing. Anna did a great job. Oh, that cute dog. Okay, bring the dog all the time. That's just cuteness overload. I enjoyed the meeting very much, and I really, really am grateful to have met all of you. And thank you, Kushbal. Did I say your name right? About the destination and the journey? Excellent, excellent. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Now we have with us Sal Sharp. Sal, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. I was planning to come to this speech hiding my pajamas under my clothes. And I got a message from Kathy to say, oh, Rupi's speakers have all dropped out. Can you please? And I just typed up my speech about 2 hours ago, and I was planning to start practicing for Thursday. So I apologize. It's the first time I have read a speech so much. But it was a wonderful experience. I think aggrandize would be a good word for me, because I like to be organized and prepared. I'm not saying that I always are, but this is the goal. And tonight sort of pushed me into the closest I've ever had to do an impromptu for 5 or 7 minutes. So that was a huge growing experience for me. I thank you, Rupi. I loved your presentation on the neurotransmitters of pleasure in the various categories. And I love the way you wove it like a tapestry throughout the meeting. I thought that was beautiful. And I share Kathy's view about the slides, Hope. She and I are busy on WhatsApp saying, how is this lady doing this in real time? Because you wouldn't like to know how long. These are actually my real awkwards. And I spent about half an hour producing 3 half decent photographs to try to communicate to you my struggles with this particular plant. So a wonderful meeting. I am so ready for my bed, and I have to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning to teach English. So sorry if I wasn't as lively as I wanted to be. I almost turned it down, but when I heard that there was absolutely nobody, I thought, you know what? Kathy always tells me, do things that feel uncomfortable. But you all made me feel super comfortable tonight, and it's been a true pleasure to join your meeting. Sorry, it's night for me. Morning to you. So thank you very much for your gracious hospitality.
Thank you, Sal Sharp. And we would like to hear more speeches from you in the future. It was a treat for us today. Pranjay, over to you. Would like to hear some words from you.
Yeah. So it is my first time attending this Toastmasters meeting and interact with so many people around the globe, and there's so much positivity. And I really want to thank Anna and Hope to do my evaluations correctly. And this type of meeting helped me, like I'm doing engineering, and it will help me greatly in my interviews. So I really want to thank you all.
Thank you, Pranjay, for turning up, and we would like to hear more your speeches as well. So do join in next time also. Raj, over to you. And I think Raj, I wanted you to be the first one to speak, but this time you are the last to come up on the stage.
Thank you, Sumit. I felt that today's meeting was great. Though we had only one speech, but that was excellent. And everyone spoke very well in the topic session. Even though I felt that the topics were a bit tough, but since these are around sadness and happiness, and everybody has experienced these emotions, so they were able to come out with their true self in the speeches. I really enjoyed the evaluations of the topic speeches and also the overall evaluation. Overall, it was a great meeting. Though when I received a message from Rupi that we do not have any speaker today, would you like to give a speech? I just thought that this might have gone to many people and somebody would come out as a speaker. And we really have had one speaker. Under such situations, I have an idea. Why not to ask people whosoever there in the meeting to deliver a speech of 4 minutes, not 5 minutes. I do not want those speeches to be counted as speeches of Toastmasters. We shall give them topics and they, 2 or 3 people will speak for 4 minutes. By that way, we will be able to enhancing our extempore speeches as well. The skill of speaking extempore for more than 2 minutes. That is one idea of doing the meeting. In case we do not have any speaker, and all these speakers have gone out of the meeting. Thank you very much.
I think it's a wonderful suggestion, and I think next time if this kind of situation arises, we'll keep this in mind, and that's a wonderful suggestion to follow. Your topics might be tough, but the spirit of these Toastmasters in this meeting is even tougher. So be able to see through your tough topics. That's great, and I enjoyed your table topics. Some of the topics are close to my heart, and I am being a meditator. So now we have we are towards the end of the meeting. Rupender, do we have certificates and awards?
Yes, the certificates are ready. I'm happy to share them. I just have to figure out the right screen to share because I don't want to end up sharing my WhatsApp screen where I've been saying mean things about a lot of people in this meeting. I'm kidding. I'm not saying anything mean. Okay. Right. I'm supposed to share screen.
In the meanwhile, if somebody want to take roles, can chat me.
We won't be having roles for next meeting, Sumit, because next week we have our contest, but for the week later, yes, surely we can take up roles. We already have a table topic master. Hope is playing that role. But for now, here are the certificates. Please confirm you can see the screen. And you see a screen that has a button that says send certificates by email. Hello?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So starting with the third best table topic speaker for today, Toastmaster Alisa Schneider. Thank you for also playing the role of Grabarian today, Alisa. Knew I could always count on you. Then our second best table topics speaker. Second best table topic speaker today was Anna Whistler. Many congratulations, Anna. Anna, best table topic speaker today. You know, her name actually means fragrance in English. Many congratulations, Khushbu Chokhani. Superb job. Oh, this was difficult. The best speech evaluator. He loves flirting with time. He finished dots 3 minutes 30 seconds. Sumit Juneja, many congratulations once again. Our best auxiliary role player. You know, when you make a presentation like that with all those smileys and everything, no one actually stands a chance. So many congratulations, Hope Williams. Our best role player today. Thank you very much. Happy average person. Okay. The best speaker for today, man, this was a tough one. There was an intense fight, but in the end, there can be only one winner. Wait, we had only one speaker today, but nothing to take away from you, Sal. Continue growing the orchids. Many congratulations to Sal Sharp. Now, with the click of this button, these certificates will reach you by email. Once the script stops running, close tabs to the right. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. That's it from my side. Back to you, Subit. You want to take roles for 20 seconds? We can do that. We already have a table topics master. Hope has volunteered.
I want to be the TM mod for 20 seconds.
Okay.
Alisa?
If you could write me down for a speech.
Me too, speech.
Great.
Alisa,
I
you want to go for a speech?
Yeah.
I know it's unbelievable, but yes, a speech. You heard me correctly.
No, I'm just confirming. I'm just asking a clarifying question. Who else wants to go for a speech?
Raj Mehta.
Raj Mehta. I'm going to try something adventurous here. Puranjay and Deepak, you want me to put you down for timer and R counter respectively. I'll explain the roles to you, to both of you. That's a promise.
Okay, no issues.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've got our T and A, and we need a G now. So we've got Puranjay, I'm putting you down for timer.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll make members out of you before that, but okay. So, okay, I've got Alisa and Raj as speakers. Anyone else who wants to take a role?
Here, Anna.
We're left with Anna. Anna is calculating. Will she take a role?
I'm sorry. I may,
Not take a role.
may or may not be in town. I may or may not be near a computer because I'm traveling to Colorado for Christmas. So I may be here, but I don't know yet. So I don't want to take a role and then have to back out.
Anna keeps things open. How did I do as a commentator just now?
So do Hope, I believe. She always say that I'll take the whatever is left in the last minute.
No, Hope is taking up table topics master.
Oh, she has already taken it. Oh, great.
Yes, don't take that from me, Sumit. Back off.
Sumit Juneja, I don't see your name up here. Interestingly. Grammarian.
I'll do it. Yes.
I was going to say we haven't heard a speech from him from a while.
You know how it goes, Anna. We go with 3 speakers and then we end up with none. I just don't want to jinx it.
So I will prepare in case somebody backs out. I'll give.
I'm putting you down as a speaker. Who knows? You might be the only one. The way things go, you might be the only one. I'll find a grammarian. No worries. Worst case, I'll be a grammarian. Okay, the agenda looks to be developing nicely. Khushbu, I'll need a theme from you. Thank you everyone for joining. Next week, we have our table topics and evaluation speech contests. And some of you, I'm not going to take names, are kind of reluctant about joining. I would like to tell you that Sheila McIntyre told me that she's contesting for both the contests and she is coming after some challenges. So let's be there. Let's contest. Everyone. Great. I'm going to stop the recording.